You were assigned to mentor me. I was brand new to hospice, but it was profound for me in that it was my first exposure to end-of-life care. You helped to navigate that for me. I'm a Muslim and I'm religiously observant, and for me, touch is conditioned by a preeminent relationship that I'm building ultimately with God, as I understand Him. It's through that lens that touch becomes sacred. One of the realities of the sacred is that it's rare and it's precious and it's not common. It's for all of these reasons that I have invested in the idea of limiting my touch with members of the opposite sex. It's particularly challenging in end-of-life care, as I was sharing with you earlier, that the marketing materials all celebrate touch. Right?
Yeah, the hand holding.
The hand holding. And I differentiate as a nurse between clinical touch and social touch. So there are no restrictions and conditions in terms of touching a woman for the purposes of rendering clinical care. But that division is fuzzy. And I remember a woman that I was working with. She was a woman probably in her 50s who had breast cancer, open wounds on her chest. Now, she was a very functional lady. This wasn't a bedridden woman who had been withered away by her disease. She was essentially healthy, except for these lesions that had to be cared for. And it was a weekend, and I drove out to her house, and immediately she starts taking off her shirt so that I can dress her wounds, which I did. And afterwards, she was so appreciative and did what I think anyone would reasonably do in our culture, is she wanted to embrace me. And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I don't hug. I don't embrace. I don't shake hands. It's a religious thing." And she says, "You just had your hands all over my breasts." And of course, what I often do is I'll touch my hand to my heart or somehow otherwise salute. But it's safe to say that there isn't time for the kind of conversation that we're having. So many people are left only with their impressions and their questions unless I have the chance to continue re-engaging them. Working in end-of-life care has allowed me to really see shades of gray around what hope means and what a miracle might be.
I really am happy you see the gray, because if life were just that black and white, it would be so sad. I just love how much you have grown. I've grown. We're not the same people we were when we started, and I think that's the whole purpose, to be able to work in a job that can challenge us and be so fulfilling. It can be tough, but it can also be really rewarding.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, my friend.
Well, Coleen, I would love to hug you.
You do it all the time, you just don't do it physically.
That's exactly how it works.